How Warren Buffett built his billion-dollar fortune and the habits that made him rich. Imagine becoming one of the richest people in the world. Not by inventing a revolutionary technology, not by becoming a celebrity, and not by chasing trends. Instead, you become rich by doing something extremely simple, making smart decisions with money for a very long time. That is exactly what Warren Buffett did. He is one of the most successful investors in history and the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. For decades, Buffett has consistently beaten the stock market and built a fortune worth tens of billions of dollars. But what makes his story so powerful is this. His strategy is surprisingly simple, and the lessons he teaches about money and success can change the way you think about wealth forever. Let's start at the beginning. Warren Buffett was born in 1930 in Omaha. Even as a young child, Buffett was obsessed with the idea of making money. At just 6 years old, he started his first small business. He bought packs of gum and bottles of Coca-Cola from a store and sold them door to door for a small profit. It might sound simple, but this was the beginning of a mindset that would eventually build a financial empire. While most kids were playing games, Buffett was studying businesses. By the time he was 11 years old, he made his very first stock market investment. He bought shares of a company called City Service. At first, the price dropped and he got nervous. So he sold his shares as soon as he made a tiny profit. But something interesting happened next. Right after he sold, the stock price skyrocketed. Buffett realized he had made a huge mistake. That experience taught him one of the most important lessons of his life. Patience is the key to investing. Many people lose money because they panic too quickly. Buffett learned that real wealth is built by thinking long-term. As he grew older, Buffett continued studying business and investing. Eventually, he attended Columbia Business School. There, he studied under the legendary investor Benjamin Graham. Benjamin Graham introduced Buffett to a powerful idea called value investing. The concept is simple but extremely powerful. Instead of buying stocks because they are popular, exciting, or trending, you buy companies that are strong, profitable, and selling for less than they are actually worth. It's like finding a designer jacket worth $500 but buying it for $100. You're getting incredible value. Buffett took this concept and turned it into his entire investing strategy. After finishing his studies, Buffett returned to Omaha and started investing professionally. Over time, he began buying shares in a struggling textile company called Berkshire Hathaway. Eventually, Buffett took control of the company and transformed it into one of the most powerful investment companies in the world. Today, Berkshire Hathaway owns massive stakes in some of the biggest companies on the planet. These include companies like Apple, Coca-Cola, and American Express. But here's something surprising. Buffett didn't make thousands of complicated investments. In fact, he often says that a few great decisions in life can make you incredibly wealthy. One of his most famous investments was in Coca-Cola. In the late 1980s, Buffett invested billions of dollars into the company. Many investors thought he was crazy. But Buffett understood something simple. People around the world love Coca-Cola. He believed the brand was powerful and would continue growing for decades, and he was right. That single investment made Berkshire Hathaway billions of dollars. Another secret to Buffett's success is something called compound growth. Compound growth means that your money earns returns, and then those returns start earning even more returns. Over time, this creates a snowball effect. Buffett once said that life is like rolling a snowball down a hill. If you start early and keep rolling, the snowball becomes enormous. This is exactly how Buffett built his fortune. He started investing very young, and he allowed his investments to grow for decades. Another interesting thing about Buffett is his lifestyle. Despite being one of the richest people in the world, he lives surprisingly simply. He still lives in the same house in Omaha that he bought in 1958. He doesn't chase luxury or expensive lifestyles like many billionaires do. Instead, he focuses on what truly matters: smart decisions, patience, and discipline. Buffett also spends a huge amount of time reading. He once said that he spends about 80% of his day reading books, reports, and financial statements. Why? Because knowledge gives him an advantage. The more he understands businesses, the better his investment decisions become. This is another powerful lesson from Buffett. Your knowledge is one of your greatest financial assets. The more you learn about money, business, and investing, the more opportunities you can see that others miss. Buffett also believes strongly in emotional control. The stock market is full of fear and excitement. When prices crash, people panic and sell. When prices rise quickly, people rush in and buy. But Buffett does the opposite. He once famously said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." This means that the best opportunities often appear when everyone else is scared. Great investors stay calm and think logically instead of emotionally. Another incredible part of Buffett's story is his generosity. Later in life, Buffett made one of the biggest charitable pledges in history. He promised to donate the majority of his fortune to charity through organizations like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. For Buffett, money was never just about luxury. It was about building something meaningful and helping others. Today, Warren Buffett is considered one of the greatest investors of all time. But his success wasn't magic. It was built on a few simple principles. Think long-term. Invest in strong businesses. Stay patient. Keep learning. And most importantly, start early. Because the biggest advantage in building wealth is not intelligence, it's time. The earlier you start investing, learning, and making smart financial decisions, the bigger your snowball of wealth can become. Warren Buffett proved that you don't need to be flashy or lucky to become successful. Sometimes, the most powerful strategy is simply being patient while everyone else is rushing. And if you apply even a few of these lessons to your life, you might be surprised how far they can take you. Because the path to wealth isn't always complicated. Sometimes it's just about making smarter decisions than yesterday and sticking with them for the long run.